Hi everybody, my name is Susan Smith-Peter. I'm a professor here at the College of Staten Island in the History Department. I have been teaching here for 22 years, which is a long time, but it's been a great time as well. And I just want to let everybody know about the options we have in the major. Let's say you want to be a social studies teacher, then you're definitely in the right place. You could do the 7 through 12 adolescence education sequence, and when you're done with a BA, you're certified as a teacher, and then you can come back and take the MA in history. And the great thing about that is you get the bump in pay after 5 years. So, you know, most people do like having more money. So I would recommend doing it that way if you want to be a social studies teacher. Let's say you don't want to teach. One of your options that you might not have thought about is that you could take the regular history BA, and then at the end of that, you could take the advanced certificate in public history. That's 20 credits at the graduate level. And at the end of that, you're qualified to work for the National Park Service and museums, as a museum educator, all sorts of different places where history is presented to the public. So those are the options, and I think there are a lot of things there for people who love history and want to go in different ways, making their life a life of history. So here we are at the casts exhibit. So casts were when, back in the 19th century, they would have these antiquities, things that were from ancient Greece and Rome, and they would make casts of them, so they were copies of them. And so what this exhibit is the story of these casts, which used to belong to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and Professor Iveson got them from their warehouse in 2003. And then, you know, about 15 years later, I worked on them with my students. And so this exhibit label right here was actually written by the students, and I checked it and everything, and we decided on these two casts. We have other casts as well. And basically the exhibit is talking about how in the 19th century there used to be a lot of casts, and you would see them all over the place. And then by the end of the 19th century, nobody cared about casts anymore, and they started throwing them away. Luckily, we were able to preserve these, and so now students can actually study these. These are the originals are in the British Museum. And then there's some other, like this is timeline and some other sort of you know, classical history kind of stuff around here. But this is a good example of the students' work can go into things that you see around the campus every single day. Here we are at the Willowbrook Mile. This is the last stop. The Willowbrook Mile is a big public history project that was done here at the College of Staten Island in 2023, and that included one of our professors, Professor Catherine Lavender. She's done a lot of work on the history of Willowbrook. CSI was here, it was Willowbrook, and Willowbrook was a really problematic state institution for people with developmental disabilities. And when that was exposed, it also led to a big push to deinstitutionalize people in general. And this particular milestone is talking about how the whole campus is an example of, as it says here, isolation to inclusion, because it used to be this terrible institution, and now it is a big university, part of a large university and a college where people can come and learn about disability studies and become part of the community. So I think this is another great example of how history can be made public, and how our professors have been taking part in those possibilities. So what we're looking at here is the Parthenon frieze. Of course, this is the famous Parthenon in Athens, Greece. Of course, these are casts of it, but these were casts that were done in the 19th century, and so we can see some things here that we can't see if we went to Athens right now. These were put up in 2007, 2008 by one of our other professors, Professor Sandra Gambetti. And you can also see here, there's a lot of interpretation that explains what it is that we're looking at, and explains why it's so important and why this is universally considered to be a masterpiece of ancient Greek sculpture. Yeah, so I hope to see you here at the College of Staten Island. Our alumni have come here and gone on to do wonderful things, get wonderful jobs. We've got someone at the Library of Congress. We've got someone at the New York Public Library, Historic Richmond Town, Staten Island Museum, New York Community Trust. There's so many places, and we've had so many students who are now teachers and are working for the Department of Education. It's really a great way to make history your life. I've worked with students on a lot of different things. Like I remember back in 2017, it was the 100th anniversary of the Russian Revolution. I worked with my class to create an exhibit on Americans in the Russian Revolution, and it was actually shown at the main library at the New York Public Library, which is pretty unusual to have a guest exhibit at the New York Public Library. And it was a great experience for my students. We figured out what was going to be in the exhibit. So there's a lot of opportunities to make a difference in history here at College of Staten Island, and I hope that you'll come and join us. Thanks.